Yes, Dave.
Sorry, I
Yes.
was
No, you're good, Mark. You're in time, so we're good. Do we have to tell them, Jackie, to tell them this stuff?
Go ahead. Okay, he's good.
Okay, great. Okay, we're here for our City of Erie Historic Review Commission meeting. Today is February 5th, 2024. Wait, what am I saying? I'm looking at the last one, I'm sorry. It's August 5th. I wish. 2024. We'll have a call meeting in order and have a roll call. Jean Craig Pepper, absent. Dave Brennan, present. Mark Tannenbaum,
present.
Melinda Meyer,
Present.
Matthew Falcone is absent today. Jason Wazorek, absent. And Kathy Wojrosek, absent. Oh, Jackie Spry. I keep looking at the old meeting minutes.
Oh, that's okay.
Sorry. So first item on the first we want to have the approval of the past meeting minutes, or do you want to have public comment first? There's no one here.
I had moved that we approve the minutes of the last meeting.
Okay. Do we have a second?
Can I back up a minute?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Just in the sense that we've got 4 sets of minutes. So if you want, and this is just a recommendation, that the motion is to approve the 4 sets of minutes that are presented at today's meeting, and then there's just one vote.
Okay.
I so move.
Did everybody get a chance to? I'm sorry.
I did read them.
Did everybody get a chance to read it? No questions or comments. Thanks, Melinda, for putting those together. You know, there were some brief meetings, but it was important to have that. So,
Thank you.
so yes. So there is 4 meetings, and they're all noted in our agenda here.
I just would like to make one quick, well, you can make the motion and then I'll make the note if you want. Motion to,
Go ahead,
somebody
make a
okay.
note, that's fine.
On the past meeting minutes for letter D, the special meeting, just a note that by September, the HRC meeting, all members should have the comments to Heather for zoning ordinance updates or edits or comments to her for the September meeting, just to make note of that.
Oh, it's back, okay.
By September for the next for that HRC meeting. So I think that's what was decided, I believe, at the special meeting, and then there was a carryover of that discussion, and then all edits or all comments were to be to her for the September meeting.
It was originally this meeting.
Yes.
Okay.
And
okay.
it was
Okay.
it was
You wanna make sure and
extended.
get it
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
it was
Okay.
extended.
Okay.
No,
I
that's okay.
understand.
No,
I
that's all right.
understand.
I'm just
Okay.
making just a note from Heather,
Okay.
really.
Yep.
Sorry.
Okay, so thanks for the note. We'll make sure and send them to her. I think I already did, but I'll recheck again, see if I have any other notes. So yes, for approval of the meeting minutes, would anyone like to make a motion to approve all 4 meetings?
I so move.
And a second? Do we have a second?
I would say you, since I'm the secretary.
Okay. I'll second that. Okay. Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Okay. The first item is for old business, is we had a sign-up sheet reminder for the web training link
Yep.
for the CLG meeting,
For the night, that's August
Yep, I have,
13.
I will not be in town for that. I will be out of town.
okay.
I'll be in Ireland.
Well, I know that it was a mandatory meeting. I don't know what that means, but this is the
Can they
Zoom
tape it?
in.
Or
Oh, they
not?
can, yeah.
If you tape it, I'll
I
watch
don't know the answer to that, but
Okay.
we can find that out. I would assume they can tape it so that you can watch it, Mark, but,
Yes.
She did mention that at a prior meeting.
What, that was mandatory?
Well, no, that it would be recorded because it was virtual.
I just
And if
since
anyone
I
is not-
absolutely knew I was not going to be in the country.
Yeah.
it's fine. I think so it sounds like it can be. This is a sign-up sheet that needs to be filled out from you today. This is the HRC, wait a second. Yes, this is the training. I would just still fill it
Let's
out,
fill it out,
Mark.
absolutely.
Because they need our email addresses and phone numbers. And then on the other side is another form. It's two-sided. That's the sign-up sheet, and that's it's another item. It's further down. I can wait till we get to that agenda item, but I'll pass that
Now,
around.
we do have a notice on our calendars for that meeting also. I think maybe, did Heather send that out?
For the camp meeting, for
For the
the
camp
training?
meeting, yeah.
Yes. That training is the money from the CLG that we received.
Yeah.
That's the training that they'll be doing virtually that we'll all attend.
Okay.
So, but if
So
you
what,
could.
what's this, is
So
this
this
to
is
confirm our
for-
attendance?
Yeah, this is to confirm your attendance and also to get your information, either your cell phone number or your business number, so that we can give it to the trainer.
Okay.
We are the trainee.
Yes.
So what's the back of it then?
The back of its item, it's further down. I'll pass that back around.
Okay.
She just double-sided it. So I can get to that afterwards. That's the sign-up for the nominations, for historic designation nominations. I guess there was a couple meetings ago you discussed HRC members at least doing one nomination a year.
Yes.
And so I think that's the sign up for that on the backside.
And by the way, the city council did reinstate me for 3 more
Yes.
years. I did get that in the news, yeah.
Great.
It was you and I think Melinda.
Melinda.
Yes, okay.
Okay, anything further with that item, Jackie?
No, just to make sure we'll get the other members' information from them.
Okay, do we want to move on to the next item then?
Yes.
Review updates of HRC official use forms. I know those were sent again in the packet. And I guess we're just trying to see if there's any further comments. You know, we're not going to go through each one in
Right.
detail at this meeting, but just a discussion.
Correct. We would like to finalize the form today. I don't know if that requires a formal vote to finalize those, but if you have any final comments, if not, to proceed with.
Hey, I wouldn't think we need a motion to approve a form. It's
Okay.
really, do you think anyone else? I'm just questioning.
Yeah, it's an official city form.
Yeah.
No, then
Okay.
just to the ability to proceed from the board.
Yeah,
With
okay.
using these forms as the new forms.
Okay.
And they're in your packet, so they're right after the minutes.
Yeah, I know we had several rounds of reviews, and I know the committee reviewed it in detail, so. Any questions?
Oh, I
or-
did want to,
I did want to ask if we have suggested edits. I guess since we're not formally making a motion today, it won't unless you need us to make a formal motion. But if we don't make a motion, I guess it won't impact it. I just wanted to make sure that we were still able to send suggested edits. Because this is actually the first time we have the chance to see this draft. It was just included in the packet on Friday.
on Friday, right.
So I went through it quickly this morning, and I saw a number of things that I would, like minor grammar, grammar,
Small
whatever,
edits.
spelling, yes, those kinds of things. And I just want to make sure that we can still send those.
I guess.
Well, there's the application. Say, do we want to, we're going to review that at the next meeting. Do we want to have a formal approval at the next meeting, since that form's not being reviewed today? The application for certificate of appropriateness?
Well.
And then there could be any final
I-
tweaks?
I think, so I have the forms here as of 7/31. I believe Heather updated these, but then sent them out on 8/2, which didn't give you a lot of time to review. I know she was looking to finalize the forms today, but because you didn't, I would say that maybe could you get those to her by
Yes,
the
today.
middle of the week or
Sure.
by the end of the week, and then I would assume, are you able to,
I don't think that there's a lot. There's just
Yeah.
like some minor, just a couple of things I wanted to point out.
that's fine.
it?
I think if you could just get those to Heather, and then
Okay.
from there, if no one has anything else, then we can finalize those.
yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
And those are the 3 forms that I have here. I don't have, you have them in your packet though, right?
Yeah.
Oh, and I wanted to see if I could share this too. Okay, that's fine. These are the forms here. Okay,
And they're currently online, we're just going to be updating them, correct?
yes, and there's been significant updates to
Yeah.
the forms, so they are in a much better format and much more concise. Not concise, but more details. They're in line with what's requested from, what's required of the zoning ordinance, so it's a much-needed edit.
Yeah.
Yep.
Did we cover the fact about connecting the historic preservation with demolition permits?
In the
I know
form,
that, I know that's a big,
That's in Articles.
is it in Article 7?
yes.
Remember,
it
because
is
that was a
in-
big part, that people just tearing buildings down and there's no step of review. And so many buildings have been torn down.
I mean, it only applies to buildings that are are one of the historic buildings.
Oh, but not just in general.
No, it's not a blanket over the whole city. It's just for the buildings that have been designated
Okay,
in districts.
all right. And that hasn't happened yet, though, correct? I mean, we haven't designated all of the buildings and all of the districts.
No,
No,
we just have
that's
certain
correct.
ones
We
that
just
have been
do-
designated so
I
far.
understand.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
just checking.
yeah.
But-
Are
so
you
some of that
asking,
might be
though,
retroactive, I guess.
Are you asking if there's anything in the forms themselves that
I'm
speak
not-
to demolition?
Yes, but in the laws, because that's always been an issue of that people just tear buildings down.
Right.
And that there's no means by which, in every other city that I look at, there's some kind of, if a building that's built in 1902 and it looks significant, they can't just tear it down
Mhm.
willy-nilly, and in Erie, you can.
Yeah, there is a permitting process for giving demolition permit, but that review, as far as historical, is not currently
It's
part
not
of
part
it.
of it. I didn't know if
Right.
this was.
But if
we
it's
were
in a
addressing
designated
that problem.
district or building,
Yes.
it is.
So after this, if it's in a district or a building, and that would be just up to us at that point to broaden our search enough to protect enough buildings that,
Yeah.
I don't want to sound like a crazy person, but I
Well,
just think that we have to protect
No,
what
it's
things
actually,
we have left.
it's been discussed in the past many times about the,
Yes.
how to do,
I don't know how.
but it needs to apply to zoning and be part of the
Correct.
code, because it's something that needs to be
I
designated.
know it's multi-layered and
And with the
certainly
historic,
not all popular. Not everybody is in favor of this.
with the citywide historic resource survey,
Yes,
that hopefully
we'll
will
do it.
start us on the path of understanding what our assets are and
Okay.
where, we'll have an inventory.
Fine.
So, but,
You understand my question?
Yes,
Is that
yes.
prior to this, let's say the building that we just walked through in 1905, okay, someone could tear that thing down tomorrow,
Mhm.
and there'd be not a thing that we could do
Right.
about it.
Correct.
right,
And it would be a tragic loss for the group at large, of the community. It's not just a personal asset, it's a community asset. You don't just own the Mona Lisa, you know what I mean? It's like everybody owns the Mona Lisa. You can't just burn it, even if you owned it.
right, and
There has to be, you know what I'm saying? There has to be some kind of understanding that when you purchase a property of historic significance, that you are steward of that property, not just the owner to do whatever you want with it,
Well,
whatever you want with it. You
that's
can do
what our-
certainly a lot with it, but not everything.
That's what our goal is, to try to protect those historic properties,
Okay.
and that's what we're trying to do, is designate districts and
I'm just
do it through zoning.
Right.
The more I touch it, the more it means more to me all the time.
Okay,
Since there's no public listening.
They are listening.
They are.
so any other comments regarding the forms? We're done with the
No.
form discussion.
Nope, that's fine.
Okay, we'll go to the next item, C, in old business, clarification on Soldiers and Sailors Home,
Oh, yeah.
nomination information from our July 1st meeting.
Yes, I just had one comment to make. After the nomination was voted upon and at the last meeting, the preparer added a few additional sort of, we're calling it like clerical information, contact information, nothing that would have any impact on the application itself. It was like the property owner's address or a phone number, that type of thing.
Yeah.
So just for transparency, wanted to mention to the board that there was a few other additional administrative items added to the application, but nothing that had any change in the details. So just wanted to let you know that,
Okay.
okay?
Good.
And they are
It-
still planning on demolishing.
I don't know what's going on with that. That's,
You know, if we would want to, and again, off topic, a tiny bit, we could auction off the rights to it, now that we're back in the game. We could auction off the salvage rights to somebody who would salvage it, which at least is better than throwing all that stuff into the trash can. There's a middle ground here. Now, we don't have a repository for architectural significant items. Many cities do. And one of the things they do is they auction off salvage rights, or they auction off the stuff and it goes into a repository that then is sold. Mantelpieces and lead glass windows and things like that. Those are saved, that someone else can retrofit those. And that is still better than throwing them in the trash. It just seems to me that whatever these windows and these doors and it's been a long time since I've been in that building. I remember, staircases and banisters and those kind of tool. I don't know what's in that building. Kitchen cupboards. I'm sure it's a galley kitchen. Okay, that there's those cool things are in there. Maybe we can offer as a PR thing that we would sell it to a salvage person, and they would have to be insured, of course. They'd have a certain amount of time to do it. But then at least we could say, we as an institution are doing our best to find a middle ground. We can't stop them from tearing it down, but maybe we could. And we can't make you save the equipment or save the assets, but maybe we could find a middle ground, and I'd be happy to help them.
I don't know the status of what's going on. Melinda, do you have any update in terms of?
Yeah, so after the meeting with the Department of Military and Veterans Affairs, I think there were a series of steps outlined that would be taken next. So right now, the Pennsylvania Soldiers and Sailors Home staff, working in partnership with the administration of the Department of Military and Veterans Affairs, are compiling information that is going to the State Historic Preservation Office. Are you okay if I mention?
Absolutely.
Okay. So Dave also volunteered to consult free of charge to develop a site plan that would allow them to increase their parking and maintain the commandant's house on the property. The meeting, we shall see. In the meeting, I think the majority of folks that I spoke with anyways that participated from the Department of Military and Veterans Affairs got that Their priority is demolition of the building. That's kind of the option that they're prioritizing. During the meeting, we actually discussed salvage. We could have put on Post-it notes our name and claimed any part of that building. They actually told us to do that. Yeah, I mean, that's where we're at. Right now, there's the information going to the Pennsylvania Soldiers and Sailors Home. Dave's working up a site plan that would provide an alternative layout for parking, and
We'll be presenting to council on the application, right, or planning commission.
who will be?
Designation. The city staff. Isn't that what, it was approved, the designation through the HRC?
It was.
Yes.
Yes.
So then it has to go to the planning commission,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Yep.
And then to council.
Yes. Mhm. Mhm. Sorry.
It's fine.
Sorry, I switched
Yes,
gears.
that's it.
And I'm sorry that I brought
Yeah.
it
A lot
up.
of moving pieces.
Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
lot of moving pieces, and I brought it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a minute. No. The DMVA doesn't need to.
Yeah, sorry.
Right, because you're going to say
I'm talking about
they want this
this.
done before that.
Yeah,
They want to beat the clock.
yeah.
But it ultimately wouldn't make much of a difference anyways, because it's a state-owned resource.
Right.
And,
Right.
I mean,
So the city doesn't have jurisdiction.
correct. I mean, quite frankly, though, it does allow, I think it just raises community awareness of the historic resource.
And that's the nice part about a
It's
public
the
thing. as
city's
opposed to
recognizing.
Putting
Right.
posters
It's an
on it.
important
It's
resource.
As you're saying, at least we're trying.
Yeah.
Well, and I think at that meeting as well, Heather did kind of reinforce that the city would like to have a sit down with the Pennsylvania Soldiers and Sailors Home, not just about the Commandant's House, but kind of just how that entire complex interacts with, or doesn't interact
With the
Correct.
neighborhood.
with the neighborhood and the various departments of the city
Sure.
itself.
But I remember they tore down the greenhouses. There were stunning greenhouses on that
Mhm.
property.
Yeah.
They had plants in there that were 30 feet tall.
Yeah.
Okay, and there was all kinds of stuff that they did.
What were the greenhouses in the back?
No, they were like if you look at the main staircase up, they were on the right hand side, like where that
To the
wing
east.
was.
To the east.
Yes,
Yes.
to the east, like almost directly to the street. They went all the way to
Mhm.
like Front Street or whatever that street is,
Yeah.
and they were
If you-
amazing.
If you extend out the wing that they demolished, they'd be either in there or back where the
There's a maintenance thing
laundry
back
shop,
there, yeah.
laundry, yeah.
But they were
Laundry house.
because I remember. I know
Laundry
this sounds crazy. But I remember going there as a
Yes.
Cub Scout, as a kid, because we would go to the blockhouse and we would go to the greenhouse,
Yeah.
and they would give us a little bit of tour of the facility as a Cub Scout event, and I remember it vividly. How stunning it was.
If you look at some of the maps that were included in the nomination form, the maps actually show the location of the greenhouse.
And they were,
Great.
they were round.
I've probably seen them because I've seen a bunch of maps, but I
They
didn't.
look like the sheds, whatever that big the big greenhouse is, botanical garden.
Great. So what was the clarification? Was it just that we wanted to review it again to make sure
No,
there's no questions?
there was no reason to vote again
Okay.
on the application. It was just making sure that you were aware that there was just some minor additions.
Got it. That's what you
That
meant.
were,
Okay, got it.
yes, just minor additions of an address or a phone number, nothing that would impact or have you, the need to vote on the application again.
Okay,
There's no
so we're all set
changes.
for bringing them.
Yes,
Okay.
just wanted to be transparent there.
Is there any other questions then from anybody on that? So we'll move forward into the next item, D.
Yes,
And that's
I'm
the
gonna-
local designation plaque?
Yep, and I'm
I know
gonna-
that was included.
It is, but I'll just put it up here on the screen. Get to it.
So is this the final, I know we've talked about it a couple times, there were several comments, so this is kind of what we consider a final
So
design?
there's two of them in your packet. This is the first one here. And let me try to. Okay, so this is the first one is an example for structures, sites, or objects. As you know, we cannot refer to them as landmarks or buildings. The terms need to comply with what's in the zoning ordinance. And so Heather did this. She pulled the historic preservation plan logo that the board, I
Mhm.
think, recommended, as well
Yeah.
as the seal for this particular one. And then the second example would be for districts. And really, she was asking that you review the design and the content, and that you would take a vote to proceed with the design. That all the input that was all the input from previous meetings has been incorporated into these new designs. So she was requesting that, you know, if you like this, to take a vote to use these. The second design shows this, the seal is here,
Mhm.
obviously with the historic preservation logo, and then this one has the seal on the bottom.
Mhm.
I think these turned out nice.
I love them. I mean, we talked
Yeah.
about them at the last meeting. These look great.
This one looks really nice.
And now, ask again, sorry. The person who would own the property would purchase this, and this would be the thing that they would purchase. It's not like they could alter it. This is it.
Right,
and they buy it.
how Heather has explained it to me is that the fabricator, which I
Correct.
can't remember, they
The-
would be in contact with Heather, not in contact
Correct.
with the owner itself.
Right.
And we would have this mold.
Correct.
This would be our mold, and then they would use this mold for each plaque.
And Heather's really just going to be the administrative
Yes.
review. It's not like we're not going to review each sign.
Right, because we want
No,
continuity,
no,
correct?
No, because you are reviewing it
Yeah.
essentially right now. This
Yeah.
is the
I'm just
font.
repeating it out loud.
Yes.
We're not going to go through.
No.
It's
No, no.
administrative function.
That's fine.
Right.
But we do want continuity.
Yes, we want the look to look similar and know that if they come across this plaque, they know it's a city plaque.
I like the
Yes.
difference between the structure and the district. I like the fact that there's a slight difference. I think they're both great. I mean, they're exactly what we talked about.
And this is to scale, I believe. These two examples are to scale.
Love it. And what would they be made from? What would be the product?
That'd be up to the choice of the.
Oh, that's
person
right. It could be
paying the-
bronze,
paying the
it
bill.
could be-
But the color is this. The color is that blue that you chose.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the exact color was, but I know she said it's a blue background, right?
Great.
It was the same blue as a color of something. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But
Aluminum
Snap
would
type
be less
tools.
costly.
yeah.
Or they can use some other metal, but that's gross. to
Right.
decide. Okay.
I approve these. These look great.
Would you like to make a motion
I would,
to approve?
I would make a motion to accept the design as presented.
And I'll second that. Those in favor, say aye. Aye.
That's great.
Those opposed? Hearing none, the motion passes.
Okay. Oh, just for, sorry, just one other quick thing to review. On the back of the plaque, there is a form that was suggested, I believe, by the HRC as well, so that when there's an intake for the applicant to purchase a plaque, all of the information would be on this form.
Mm-hmm.
And so Heather just wanted you to take a look at that, make sure, those again, all of the input from the previous meetings she had put into this form. So it's application information, just contact information, and then plaque and historic resource information. I mean, you already approved it, but I just want to make sure you knew that your comments for the
That just sent for the file.
Yes.
To have more documentation to.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and so that it was, you had it would make it easier, I think, on the administrative side to have something like this for intake. I forgot to mention that, sorry, before you made the motion.
And is it actually on the back of the plaque?
No.
Oh, good. I think it's not a bad idea. So then you take it off years from now, you're like, oh my gosh, there it is back there.
Well, and again, just as we did with the other nomination application, I would say that our vote is not on the form. Our vote is for
Sure, the design, yeah.
Because,
That's more administrative.
well, And I've got some suggestions for that one too.
Okay, that's good. And this is not on, this is not the design of the plaque, but yeah.
Well, I'm guessing it's not the design of the final form too. I would guess that there would be a mimic of the nomination form. You'd want the seal of the city on it.
On the form, yeah, we should probably have that, like,
So
it's like this.
Uh-huh,
Yeah,
right, yeah.
Yeah, and I think, yeah, yes.
Well, and so she and I just had a conversation about this because, as you probably know, we've gone back and forth. You're doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, you're doing this, right? Back and forth, back and forth. So, one of the things is like an instruction sheet, because I think there might be questions from people if this is going to be, is this plaque only for designated properties, or can anyone get a historic building plaque from the city? So, so I think that's a question. And then we had also talked about putting together a list of
And to mention.
fabricators, sorry.
Oh, okay, that too, but also there should be something on the form that says that it's the responsibility of the owner.
Right, yes.
To purchase the plaque.
Right, yep.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, we're going to recommend manufacturers?
Not recommend.
Okay.
Provide a list of fabricators within either the city or regionally, and
Okay.
then the homeowner can choose.
Yeah, then like a little thing saying city does not,
Right.
you know, yeah, whatever.
These
yeah,
are not
recommend.
recommended, but these are the
Yeah.
fabricators who are capable of making this.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not required to use those companies. Right.
No, certainly
But-
easier. I
yeah,
mean,
definitely
why
suggest
wouldn't
Why
you?
would you? Right, no,
Suggest
but
local,
otherwise
but-
it's like you're
Yeah. If
forcing
you had a
it.
historic house, you'd
Yeah.
want to have some local agency,
Sure, of course.
yeah.
Oh, that's great.
But yeah, we had talked about putting together just a cover sheet for the form,
Yeah, that makes
providing
sense.
instruction.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And to have the same look and feel as
Yes.
as the form,
Yes,
sure,
yep.
yeah. Yeah, I think this was kind of like she put together something.
Just a mock-up,
Yeah,
yeah.
mock-up, yep,
Mhm.
yep. Just wanted the content here to make sure that she covered what you had stated. But yeah, that's good. Okay, okay.
Okay, so I think we're all set on that one. We had our vote, so let's move to new business. The City of Erie Register of Historic Places. We had the document. I know that's now on a website according to that link. I did go and take a look at that. So that's really just, again, Jack, if there's any comments, I'm just going to throw it out there. We just want to have a listing of our website to make sure it's documented somewhere. And when I did look at it, we should put an actual date on there because we just have the year. It just listed like
Yes.
summer of 2024. Maybe we put the vote from
Oh,
council.
I see. So on the list here,
Yeah, just what, under each designate, each entry, just the,
Yeah.
instead of just the year, just the date. I thought it seemed more appropriate.
The date
Sure.
that it was actually approved
Yeah,
by
it just
council.
seemed more,
Yeah.
yeah.
Or the zoning change was made by council, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and just another edit. All three of these are individual buildings. So the first one is actually listed as a historic overlay district. And then the other two are historic building and historic building. They're all historic overlays,
right, yes.
but they're also all individual buildings. PACA is not a district. PACA is a building. So just,
Some clarification, you think? on there?
well, so the
They-
first,
they're
the
calling-
first,
They do name it a district here because I thought it had multiple addresses.
no. You're one building.
It's,
1601, 03, 05, 07, 09.
Yeah.
You're one building.
I think it is.
You are not. We
But are
we
you-
passed you as a building.
Are you, so,
You are not a
It
district.
says district.
was it passed, that I don't know. I don't know, but I would assume that it was passed as a building, but I'm not sure why it does say
It does
overlay
say, I thought it was
district.
passed as a district because it had multiple addresses.
So the federal complex is considered a building, not a district, even though it has multiple buildings they're all interconnected. So it's actually one building.
One building.
Right. So we talked a little through that. I would assume that yours is the same.
We had that same discussion.
If
Yes.
someone sends a letter to your
Maybe that was
alpaca, is it all the same
mistake.
address?
I just,
No, yeah.
just want to make sure
The other
because
tenants have different
they're
addresses, but it's
all-
still in the building.
they're all historic overlays.
So are you saying you don't want
Those suite
to,
numbers, right?
No, they're different addresses.
It's a different address.
Yeah, that's, the city did that. There's all kinds of buildings that have multiple addresses. You know, Carpenter Electric has 5 addresses.
are you saying, Melinda, that you think that we should categorize these not as one list and put them into building, district, landmark, whatever?
Oh, no.
Or do you think we should just get rid of
It
the
is 1D.
overlay
So
or signal?
I would recommend using a uniform system and not, I don't think you need different lists for, and so as this is also built out, I think you'll probably want to structure it in a different way. Like, we may not always go 1, 2, 3. It may actually end up being an alphabetical list. It may end up by the resource name. It may end up being a list divided into historic districts, historic buildings, historic
Right.
sites. I mean, we're looking at a list of 3, which makes it complicated to kind of look into the future and see how we might want to organize this at a later date. But my primary point is that the mayor block is referred to as a historic overlay district, even though we did talk about it as being a historic building.
I understand.
And number 2 and number 3, even though they're listed as historic buildings,
They're overlays.
they're historic overlays.
Yeah,
Yes.
they're all overlays per
Right.
the zoning ordinance.
Exactly,
Right.
exactly. So just kind of coming up with a way we can unify the language.
Yeah.
So that 10 years from now, then we're not involved, somebody else can understand it.
I think it would make a lot of sense right now. You could keep it as 1, 2, 3, but it would make more sense to signify them based on whether they are what is the terminology? A structure, site, or object.
Right, that makes sense.
Or district, which is the language from the zoning code. Okay.
And I would also
And
recommend.
not building, not using
I
building.
think, I would consider us a structure.
Mhm.
I think, and if there's a happy way to do it, let's just do that.
Mhm. So structures, sites, objects, or districts, for now, until we get into a little bit more.
And
get more of them.
in addition to including the date that council voted
For the
To-
overlay.
yes, to make the change in zoning, I would also recommend the address so that people know where these buildings are at.
Yeah.
And we can
Definitely.
eventually put a map to it, too.
Right, yeah, yeah.
I think we talked about that at one
We did.
time.
Yeah, at some point, would we get
Okay.
great to have a map, someone
Yes.
just like say, okay, where are we at?
Yes.
That's all great comments, definitely, every one of them.
And
Okay.
she has on here listed in sequence of approved designation. That's just,
It's a start, it's a good start.
it's a start, yeah.
I can,
Okay, noted, for sure. And in the minutes, right?
No, I was talking.
Oh, okay.
We'll do that.
Okay, I have notes too, but good. It's good, that's fine. But it is up, which is good. It is up on the website. It's posted on the website under the HRC, under the HRC's page. And it is posted.
Packet wants to buy a plaque.
Okay,
you got a gold.
And diamonds. Diamond studded
Platinum.
plaque.
Platinum.
okay, good.
Okay, so we're all set, we'll move on to B, for new business, which is the, discussing the Historic Review Commission 5-year work plan for the, from the preservation plan. And, I actually brought this up to Heather, I think she thought it was a good idea, just to look at, year 1 and 2 goals, and to just, review what's in the plan and what we've really accomplished. I don't know if anyone's gone in and taken a look at it. I kind of went in and just started checking some boxes on items that were completed.
If you look at I think that's a good idea, because that's what I kind of started
Yeah.
doing when we were preparing. But if you open your packet to this page, to the first page of year one, and Heather also mentioned
This
date.
is nicely done, by the way. Did Heather really lay this out, or this is you laying these out, or this is you laying it out?
It's
This
in
is
the
our
plan.
preservation plan.
This looks great.
Wait, this
the whole
here?
thing- the whole layout is great.
That's the historic preservation
It's
plan.
in the plan.
That's the implementation section of the
Who
plan.
did it?
Lakota Group
Did
did
they?
it. Yes.
Looks great.
Mark.
I'm sorry. It looks
I'm
great.
sorry.
She's laughing. Never mind.
All right.
Never mind.
No, it looks really well done.
Just to piggyback off what Dave said, and it's great that you're looking at the plan that was created, right? That's the importance. You have a plan, Mark.
No, it's there.
Mark, you have a plan
I thought
that's been
Heather did it.
approved and adopted. And also, Heather wanted me to mention that this discussion, we could start by looking through some of the year 1 and 2. Really, we should be focusing on year 1 and 2 at the moment. But also that we should make sure that in January or February, we have some type of year-end review.
Oh, absolutely. As I said, I saw that, remember, we discussed
Yes.
that prior, but we have to, okay.
Benchmarks.
What did we get done this year?
Right. Where have we moved the needle?
And then, maybe comment about where we're gonna go next, and of course, the next, January, we'll have that discussion again, what do we wanna
Right.
accomplish? But yeah, definitely we wanna mark it, and again, what was your thought on that plan? It was gonna be, it would of course be separate from this, but we'll refer to the document and just say item year 1.
Oh, no, I was going to say, we should open up, because we can have we have still a few minutes here. We can
Yeah.
open up this section and just, Dave, you can lead through it.
Yeah.
That's essentially what I was doing too, is like, okay, we did that, we checked off that, you hired and retained a City of Erie Historic
Yeah.
Preservation
Yeah.
Planner. That's been done. The second one is you require and encourage city staff and Historic Review Commission members to participate in available training opportunities. We're doing that this year. Dave, if you want to continue.
And we did have a robust discussion on what programs we want to do, and we went back and forth, so we have that training program in place. Conduct orientation session for for Historic Review Commission members. We haven't really had that I recall. I know Matthew was a new member in January. I think we just, had discussions, and I think he just
Jumped in.
reviewed information that past meeting minutes. But we should formalize that and at least have some type of agenda of how that occurs. And what they need to know before they attend their first meeting. So when they're first appointed, there's some type of information sent to them, and then we can have any follow-up required. But I would think that Heather would really kind of administer, okay, here's the packet which we need to develop, and then, answer questions, then we could have a discussion at the meeting with follow-up or something like that.
Yeah, and I think we should be able to provide that person some, like, HRC training initially, so
Yeah.
that they can understand what this board is about.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Matthew is a little bit of a special case because he had been on HRC in Pittsburgh
He's
for
very
years, so he
Yeah.
was very knowledgeable. But
Yeah.
I think it's a good idea for any board to
Yeah.
have some kind
If
of.
someone coming in that has no experience, of course,
Right.
it depends on who's coming in, but,
And your bylaws should be looked at annually. I think did you look at your bylaws this year at all? I know we were in a flux of,
we
had a lot of
discussed
change.
the bylaws, but I don't know if we noted a couple things that would need to be changed, but I don't think we physically changed anything.
No, that's another thing that, I'm learning about the different boards that I lead. Each year you should just review your bylaws, make sure that, you want to continue in that format. You may have problem children that you need to put some stronger language in for certain things, just depending. But yeah, just to even give the new person a set of bylaws is the first thing that we
Yeah.
should be doing.
Yeah.
Yes.
schedule and conduct annual program review.
Is that meaning the grant programs that are being initiated? I'm
The
not
historic
sure.
preservation
Yes.
program.
Oh, program as
The
a whole,
historic,
okay.
yep.
And would that call for an annual review of just, so that's both the program, staff leadership, all of that maybe included in that, or not necessarily staff?
No, I think that would include staff as well.
Yeah,
Who would do the reviewing?
I guess HRC would do the reviewing.
I think the HRC in partnership with the staff.
With staff, right?
Yeah, because I mean, so at this point in the year, if we look at what has been accomplished so far this year, right, the City of Erie Historic Preservation Plan has been adopted by council.
Nominations.
We've had, yes, we've had new nominations, right? We've had the review and/or updating of forms. By the time we get to December, we will have reviewed Article 7, the original ordinance, and hopefully made suggestions for updating that, right? So there are a number of things that have, in addition to the Historic Improvement Building Grant Program, I know I'm still an advocate for that program as far as acknowledging problems, but at the same time advocating for the sharing out of information on the success stories, because it's not wasted money.
No, and you have many other things that you've accomplished. I mean, you have grants that you've submitted for and received.
Yes,
You have
yep.
the training that you're going to have take place. You're going to start the
There's a-
historic resource survey, which is huge.
It almost makes sense to just like start listing this stuff on the website and then make it into a report at the end of the year. So it's not like we're just putting our back pocket at the end of the year, hey, look what we did.
Right, right. No, that's
I think we
Yeah,
should-
I think that's what you're already saying.
that's exactly right. Mm-hmm.
You know, so we do the work throughout the year, and whatever we accomplish, we make sure it's public, and then the year we create some type of report, just bringing the information we already been putting forth all year.
Yeah, I mean, quite honestly, I'm seeing it very similar to a nonprofit's annual report, only in this case, it's a commission versus
Yeah.
an independent nonprofit.
Yeah.
But yes, a year-end
And I don't want to
summary of
speak
success.
for Heather, but I know that I discussed this with her prior to this meeting, and she was very much in favor of providing a year-end review and making sure that we know that we're meeting these implementation marks here. So,
I mean, currently on our website, we don't really have, like latest news, or we don't have that currently.
our
So-
website is being updated.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll have a little bit better format, so we can have things like that, current news, current updates, we
Yeah.
can do that, but it's, the layout is not that great.
When do we have to wait for, how long does that take?
I don't know when they're, I think
I was
it's
trying to
in
think,
the
is
near
there any place-
future.
I was
It's in
trying to
the
think, is there
near
any place
future.
in the website to just put it now?
Yeah.
So it's on there, so
Yes.
someone can find it.
Yes, we can do that.
And again, we want to be as transparent as possible and let people know.
Yeah, it should come out of the clear blue.
I was going to go on to the survey and documentation. That was just operations. Consult with Pennsylvania State Historic Preservation Office and other partners in planning and organizing a citywide survey.
It's being done.
Yeah, that's being done. Identify and secure funding for Phase 1 citywide architectural resource survey. It's been done.
It's part of the RFP.
Create RFP. It's been done. Initiate Phase 1 survey, and that's
It will be done September 30th.
and that's the date that
Yes.
it's going to start. Okay.
No, that's the date of first phase has to be completed by.
Completed by.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is community engagement.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Oversee and manage consultant survey team, of course, that's happening. review past historic resource surveys. So of course, they're going to be doing that, and it's referenced in the RFP.
Yes.
I'm just going to go to the next page here.
I was going to say, this was actually developed with the consultants aware that that was going to be our next step. So it's a,
It was
It was
already,
inten-
it was
yes.
intentional.
yes.
But somebody had to do it, right? We didn't have somebody in that spot, so it's great. Yeah.
Right.
Community engagement, which is the next page of 160, create a comprehensive municipal historic preservation web page. We have a web page, it's not comprehensive, so we're working on
Right.
comprehensive, which we just talked about. Prepare information and collateral materials for Erie National Register Historic Districts, incentive programs and other relevant information.
There's definitely collateral material, information on collateral materials. I mean, those would be the nomination forms that we're currently working on.
Yeah. Produced Historic Review Commission program review report, is what we just talked about. We're going to do that. Prepare a calendar of engagement opportunities to discuss preservation procedures, designation process, and benefits of historic preservation. We don't have a calendar. Does the city have a calendar on the City of Erie website?
Yes.
Does it accumulate like all the? I think it accumulates the different authorities and all the meetings and. But it has like.
It has updates on the right-hand side of the city website, but yes, it's not as user-friendly as we would like, and that's why they're redoing the website.
Great.
But yeah, there is a place that you can find, if you search hard enough, the dates and times of certain things.
Yeah.
I think people are relying on the Facebook page quite often to find out things about what's going on in the city too.
Yeah.
Not everybody has Facebook, so. But we may be able to do, like you said, a calendar and update on the website, so people can refer to that and keep that a bit more current.
Yeah.
There certainly won't be things, as the community engagement piece of the citywide survey kicks off, there will be public meetings and public surveys, and so there will be content to add to
Yes, for sure.
that calendar.
And I don't know if we want to continue. I mean, I'm thinking that when Heather's available, we kind of start, maybe have a separate side meeting to kind of talk about some of the detail on this and start putting that information together.
Yeah, I think.
Get it on the website.
I think it would be worthwhile waiting for Heather to be here so that you can talk through, and maybe some of the other members to talk through where your priorities will lie in the next 6 months, in the next year, and set a path forward there.
And it's so great just to have this historic preservation
Oh
plan.
my
So we're
gosh.
not trying to create it plus implement it. We're trying to implement it.
Right. And really the next year is going to be focused on this, I mean, not all focus, but there's going to be a heavy lift with the management of the historic resource survey too. So having that and having that completed is going to be a huge asset to this decision making too. Yeah.
So does that makes sense to me? I think we've just touched upon some items. We're not going to complete it all today, but we'll have another future discussion where we could really spend more time in detail on individual items and talk about it next year with all of our members here. Any other comments regarding that item on the agenda? Let's move to C. That's the sign-up sheet you've already talked about, Jackie,
Yes.
for the future historic preservation nomination.
Right, this is to be completed for local designations. It's another sign-up sheet. Sorry. Each commissioner is to complete application for one city property. So I don't know if you've thought about what you want to nominate, but that was the sign-up form for it. I believe you decided that one commissioner, one application per commissioner. Is that right? Per year?
That's what we discussed.
Okay.
When was this?
There was an email that Heather sent around, and I know at that time she mentioned is if you have ideas for nominations, but I don't think we ever went into detail about actually filling out the application. Unless it was in that email, I didn't see it.
I don't recall a conversation about this. I think she's just recommending a way to
I
move
don't know.
forward.
Yes.
Because I don't think we had like
I don't remember
an actual
this.
conversation about this. I think we received an email saying, hey, this is what I would recommend, right? The commissioners kind of look at this.
So if you don't have something in mind today, then maybe for the next meeting, you can fill out the form and think about, I guess, I think that's how she wanted to proceed, was to have something from the commissioners as a commitment to that specific historic property.
Well, anyways,
You have,
Do you have one in mind?
you have a few in mind?
I was going to say,
I was gonna say, are we limiting it to one?
No, I don't think so. I think we just want to make sure that at least one.
She's trying to give it a kick to
Nomination.
move
Yeah,
forward.
yeah.
I would like to do the one that we looked at the other day, the train station. I know a lot about it. All of a sudden, I became an expert in that building.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I can certainly hang out with Bob Mann, who knows everything else I don't know. And there was some cool things to it.
Yeah, for sure.
It's built out of the New York Central Railroad.
That's a good fit for you, Mark.
think
You've
so.
been there for a long.
So everyone wants to think about this then?
Yeah,
No one's willing to
it's
commit
so
yet?
I've got my short list already.
Well,
And-
why don't you just put it on there then? Just maybe jot it. You're not committing to this. It's just suggestions, so.
I emailed one
Okay.
already to Heather, but I'll just write it down because that's.
Yeah,
what
just
was-
put it down and then, put your bucket list down there. Is that okay?
For the one that I've already spoken with, yes. For the other ones, I don't know that I'm ready yet.
Okay.
Because I want to talk with, I need follow-up conversations with the property owners.
Okay,
I'd hate to put them on a list without,
speaking to them.
and I just, one's further down the road than some of the others.
Okay. Well, if you don't feel comfortable,
So I
don't
can,
put
put-
them
I
on
can,
the
I can
list.
put one down.
Okay, that's good.
Okay, well, I'm going to finish this up in a second, then we'll continue with the meeting. Okay, well, that was the last item on the agenda.
Mhm.
Pretty good.
Boy, the president is keeping right on track.
Trying.
How'd that happen?
But there was a lot of things to review today, definitely.
Right on track. Did you do business?
Mark, is that a motion to adjourn I hear from you?
I'm hearing a motion to adjourn just bubbling up in my little throat.
Okay, Mark made a motion to adjourn. I'll make the second. Those in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Those
Oh,
opposed?
sorry.
The ayes have it, it passes. Thank you.